I need my husband to agree to moving to another city because I have feelings for BIL, my F39 husband, M50, of 11 years, and his sister F41 are very close. We meet her and her husband BIL M40 all the time. Sunday dinner is always with them at our or their place. Occasionally, other family members join us from my or my husband's side of the family, but the constant is us four and SIL's 3 children. I get along very well with SIL and BIL. We never had issues. I started having feelings for BIL about 5 years ago. I know people here would call it emotional affair, but it wasn't 1 year yet. I kept it very secret and nobody noticed. I love my husband very much and I don't want to ruin our beautiful marriage. We are awesome together and our bond is strong. My feelings for BIL were very confusing at first, and I went years without realizing what they were because I love my husband, so how can I love another? When BIL turned 40, they had a big party and I stayed after to clean because SIL had to take care of the children, so it was me and BIL cleaning. He was still a bit tipsy and he told methat he's been in love with me since I married my husband. I was shocked. He has always been nice to me and complimented me, but I never felt anything more. I tried to ignore him, so he said it again. I told him to go to bed. He tried to argue, but I insisted that he went to bed and let me clean by myself. He probably knows that I love him too because of something he said. Wouldn't it be wonderful if we stopped pretending and just told them? We only live once. How did he know? I cried for weeks afterwards, and when my husband saw that I was sad, he was very concerned and was so nice to me, and it made me cry even more. The guilt is physically painful. I have developed ulcers. This happened last summer, and ever since I've tried to avoid seeing SIL and BIL. With how frequent we met before, there was never one good excuse. Soon, my husband was irritated with me accusing me of not liking his family. CCL called a few times to wonder. Now she has started saying that I wanted to come between her and her brother because I never liked their closeness. I go to the dinners and ignore BEL altogether, and CL is mad that it feels like I hate her when I actually love her like a sister. My husband got a new job offer, a city that's 20 hours away. I want him to take it. But it's in a very small town, and he is surprised that I, a renowned city girl, want to move to a small town. I don't know what to do. I want my husband to take this job, but I don't know how to convince him. BIL texted me, begging not to do it, and he promised not to bother me again, but just not to move away. TT doesn't sit well with me. As long as it was one-sided, it felt less serious, but now it feels like an emotional affair, and I don't want to be in it. Why can I do? Now my SIL and BIL are separating. My husband is hesitant about taking the new job in the new city. Hi. I was here a week ago. Read that post because I will not repeat my story. I honestly didn't expect to be so judged and hated. I read my post over and over again, trying to understand where there could have been any misunderstanding about me being interested in acting on my feelings. There was none, so I guess people just wanted to judge, which is sad because I have seen how people can be supportive in here. Anyhow, I stumbled upon a few kind souls that didn't treat me like I was disgusting human garbage. So I'm here again with an update because my life just got more complicated, and I'm so desperate. Those who read my first post know that I haven't talked to anybody about this. I want to stress the point that I have never once contemplated acting on my feelings toward BIL, not even when he confessed that he had feelings for me. On the contrary, When he told me that he was in love with me, I was more adamant to do everything in my power to forget him. I have never spoken or looked his way since that confession, and I'm not planning to ever speak to him again either. After my post, I had a talk again to my husband about the job in the little town. I told him that I wanted the new adventure, especially when it came with a 25% increase in his salary and a higher-up position. My husband has been complaining about how he isn't advancing in his career in our city. I told him that this could be the step he needed. I'm a nurse, and I could easily find jobs anywhere we went because we have a shortage in healthcare staff everywhere. The idea started to grow on him. He was skeptical because of the distance to our families, but he was intrigued. He booked a job interview that is supposed to happen on Wednesday. If he took the job, we would be relocating around New Year. I was so hopeful that I could finally breathe. Today is Sunday, and it was, per usual, the day we meet up with family for dinner. This didn't happen this week, however, and I'm spending this Sunday alone. My husband is staying with SIL because earlier this week BL broke the news to her that he wanted a divorce. SIL is beside herself with shock, and my husband is there to try and mediate between her and her husband. BL is refusing to talk to any of them and has only been there twice to see the kids. My husband told me now that he couldn't take this job because he needed to stay here and support his sister. I understand where he is coming from, but for me, all the horror and anxiety is back. What can I do? I feel trapped, like the walls are closing in around me. I can't tell my husband my true reasons. I have tried so many times, but I just can't do it. I love him so much, and I know him very well. He will be hurt and devastated. We have had issues throughout our marriage with him not being able to perform due to health problems, and we haven't had sex in over 8 years. He is so self-conscious about. I just can't hurt him about something like this. I think my options now are to stay put and support my husband and SIL. If they, BIL and SIL, can save their marriage in any way, then maybe my husband could find a new job opportunity in another city in the future and agree to move. If they divorce, then I won't be seeing BIL anymore. I'm leaving my husband, and I know that I'm being a horrible, selfish person for it. I don't know how I feel about this. It is probably too early for me to do this horrible thing when my SIL just got separated, but I don't see any improvement in the horizon. Please read my other posts for context, but if you don't want to. SIL and BIL has separated about a month ago, and my husband has been busy being SIL's support. When my husband told me he was not taking the job up north because of SIL's marital problems, I understood that and was supportive. We have always been close to my SIL, and my husband loves his sister and her children. I always admired their bond because I was never this close to my family. He stopped spending weekends with me and instead staying with SIL and the children, and even several days a week when he doesn't even text me after work that he was spending the evening with the children. I didn't mind it because this is all new and SIL isn't coping well after the separation. I told my husband that I missed him though, and that I wanted to be with him, and maybe I should tag along some days. He said that I was being selfish for wanting the attention now. His sister needed the support. I should be more understanding. She and BIL have been together since they were very young, and she wasn't adjusting well with these new changes. I felt horrible and so selfish. I thought that I should be supportive. Every Christmas, on Boxing Day, my husband and I travel to somewhere warm and spend 2 to 3 weeks. It has been our tradition since we met. We booked this trip months early, April. Yesterday, when I was talking about our trip, my husband was so surprised. He said that he was actually astonished that I thought that we would just go on with our plans when SIL's life is turned upside down. I told him that this was our thing and that his sister has her own family. I wanted my family, him. I told him that I fully understood that she needs his support, but that I've been very lonely lately. He told me to drop the subject. Today I chatted with the travelling agency to see if I could add my SIL and her children. I thought that maybe it would be a good change of climate. Well, they would have to take a separate flight, but other than that, it was possible even with such short notice to add them, so I called my husband to tell him the news. He was very excited. When he came home later, he told me that his sister didn't agree, however, so we are staying. I asked him why, and he said that she didn't want to be around happy couples right now. It was all I could do to hold back my tears. When my husband got that job offer in the small town up north, I started browsing job opportunities and I sent my CV around. One hospital answered me a week ago. I think I want to take the job. After what happened today, I just logged in and made an appointment for a job interview. I know that my SIL is hurting and that my husband is admirable for being there for her. This is all just so new for everyone and a big life change for SIL and her children. But I feel like I'm no two in my own life. I feel neglected and like I have the supporting role in my own movie. I'm leaving my husband. I'm taking the new job and I will go with the plans and move to that small town and get away from everything and everyone. I think I need this new start. Judge me all you want. I know you will. Edit for update. Thank you so much, everyone. I never expected the amount of the heartwarming comments and the awards. I have been crying since yesterday reading your beautiful DMs. I felt like some of you hit the nail on many details that I have left out. And I'm astounded and even scared that some of you seem to know my innermost thoughts and fears, but then I remember that nobody who knows me in person knows any of this. I love my husband. I will probably never love anyone like I love him. But yes, I have been very unhappy for a long time. As I said, I always admired my husband for the love he has for his sister. He basically raised her because their parents were having issues, and she was left for him to raise when he was a child himself. His warmth and compassion is what made me fall for him, but does it make sense that it is also what's making me miserable? I have always known I'm his second, but I have always thought that this will change with time. First, I thought because I'm not family, and after I became his wife, I thought because we don't have children. When SIL started having children, I felt that I was pushed down the ladder of my husband's priorities. I have told him this before, and he just told me I was being ridiculous competing with children. I remember telling him that it wasn't just that. We should be each other's priority, because even if his sister loves him, he's not her priority and never will be, because she has a family now. We never agreed on this matter. I felt like there was some truth in what he said too. I was competing with children and his sister. Besides, I thought he would be there when I needed him. Except he wasn't. My mental health has been declining this year, but he wasn't as warm and compassionate as I always known him to be. The very things that made me so much in love with him. And these past months, since Bill confessed his feelings, my husband never once tried to listen to me. Never once he tried to understand why I didn't want to join them for the usual Sunday dinner, and never once told me he was staying with me instead. Since I obviously didn't want to go, on the contrary, it became something he was bothered about even with.